let's go. Yeah. I really got the feeling today that everything is going my way. Now this is what I'm talking about. Every time I see your smile, it makes me shout. Let's go! Let's go! Nothing's gonna stop us today. Get on the bus or get out the way. We're cruising with the radio on. So turn it up to 10. Here comes our favorite song. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Yep, let's go. It's another Sunday, and welcome to Demystifying Tech with Sam. Yours truly, Sam you. Before I start, thanks for the enormous feedback I got on last Friday's episode. It's really amazing. Appreciate it a lot. Um, as always, just a reminder, make sure you subscribe my channel, my YouTube channel, Samuel Adranyi. Subscribe. You can tweet at me, and my Twitter handle is the same thing for I think LinkedIn and all my social media platforms. So tweet at me, send me messages if you have anything specific. Um, Storm on Twitter. I sent you a DM. Get in touch with me and let's sort your problem out. And then also, as always, before I begin, some adverts out of the way. But before we do that, just a reminder of what this show is about. This is Demystify Tech. Awesome. All right. So let's get some ads out of the way or some announcement. And when I say ads, it sounds like I'm commercializing the platform, which is not the case. Well, so first off, let me go to this view. So, uh, what am I showing today? Well, in the announcement first, don't forget that 14th of December 2019 is the Global AI Bootcamp hosted by the hosted by the Accra.net user group. Yours truly, I'll be there presenting. Cool guys will be presenting. We have some surprises from some speakers. So in due course, we're going to put that out. Speakers that are coming and the topics to be treating. T-shirts are ready, materials are ready, stickers are on your way. It's going to be a fun time, so make sure you don't miss it. It's 14th December 2019 at the NIT Ring Road Center branch. We will be there. That's our regular venue for all our monthly meetups. So don't forget that. Also, IoT Tuesday is coming up next week Tuesday, and the same time, Functions Friday is coming up next Friday. So don't forget to make a date. Now, it is official. I think I need to now add drum roll and all the crazy sound effect to my Stream Deck. So I think I will do that so that in cases like this I can and then release it. Yep, so it's official. I am speaking at the MCT Summit or MCT Africa Summit going to be happening in Abuja, Nigeria from the 3rd to the from the 5th to the 7th of December. Yes, it's official. I'll be speaking there. So if you happen to make your way to Abuja 5th to 7th December, you will find me there. I'll be there talking about some AI stuff, some pretty cool stuff going on. Mix of AI, cognitive services, IoT, the new virtual, bot agent, cool stuff. So if you're interested in that, catch me live on the MCT Summit. Well, so I think that's just all we have time for, in terms of um, housekeeping. Oh yeah, there's some other releases on Azure that I'll share within the course of the week also. So um, just um, just FYI. Now, I'm trying to look for a few people to do some form of mentorship and internship for. So if you are interested, or if you know someone who is interested in tech and is willing and ready and enthusiastic enough to join our team, to be mentored, to be trained, and to join our internship program, reach at me at any of my social media handles and let's get that out of the way. Well, awesome. Yes. Now that we have that out of the way, what are we working on today? So, we said that in the next few episodes on Demystify Tech, we're going to be building an Omnipost tool. In the last two episodes, we saw how to create the project locally. We created a CI/CD pipeline in Azure DevOps. We created an app service for it in Azure. So now it's just a matter of continuing from there. Now we have our base projects started. We have our CI/CD pipeline also started. So now we're just trying to continue from node modules that we're going to use, and the other modules we need to build the application. So today I'll be talking a bit about application structure, my way, the way I do it. Um, and then I'll talk about a few node modules I've used in my other production applications. And then, you know, we'll probably call it a day. I'll still be programming after the hour, but the stream ends. I'll end the stream after an hour. But if you really want to catch on to it, you can still communicate with me on any of my social media handles. So, with that said, let's go to our feed. Awesome. So, as usual, let's get let's get this done. Let's go here. Let's see. Hopefully, I'm actually trying to get to my portal. Oh yeah, open here. That is why. Let me make sure my that extension is on. You know what? Let me try this. This is official here. Yep. Make sure that the extension. Yep, my Max portal is there now. So let's go to portal.azure.com. Yep, yep. Yeah. Awesome. Well, actually, let's do this. So, let's do cd repo, and then I think it's cd omnipost. Yep. So let's do a git pull. Good practice. Always make sure that. Let me actually zoom this in for you to see. Yep, there we go. Yep, yep. The following does not exist, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we changed it. That's okay. Now, good practice. Always do a git pull before you start working in any of your projects. This is because if the changes in the repository, that if you're working in a team and other people have made changes, this is the only way you can, ensure that you're pulling the correct versions of the project. So don't forget that. All right. So with this in the way, let's go to code. Give a space, code. Boop. Awesome. We are active. Okay, let's see this. So this is what we have. Let's try this. I'm actually going to close this app because this is this is the base where we're working in. Yeah, there's some test cases. I will talk about test-driven development. I'll talk about TDD, test-driven development, unit testings, and functional testing in subsequent episode. But today, oh, I hit a plus. That's why it's showing here. But today, right? This is what we got. This is what we got. This is what we got. Uh, oh, okay. Ha 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 ha. Eh, uh, well, uh, uh, uh. Sorry, I'm just goofing off because I just received a message from a friend of mine, and yeah, it's just fine. Don't worry, I'll share that with you later on. Okay, so let's see. I have a lot of extensions here, so I'm just gonna pull this out, and then let's check out. It's like today I can't type. let's check out let's see if we set up a script. Yeah, the start. Yep. Okay. So let me just go ahead and do this. npm start. Now, I mentioned that. So, and then if we go to 300, if we let's close this just to save some resources. If we go to localhost 3000, which is the port on which we're working, what's happening? Okay, let's try this. All right, that's fine. Well, so this is what we have now, right? Localhost, that's what we have. Now, where is that? That doesn't look right. That does. Okay, yeah, that's it. Azure Rocks. That's true. That's all we have. Okay, so you realize that now if I want to make changes, let's say I change just to um, this is the miss. This is the Demystify Tech. If I do this and I save, okay, and I go back here and I refresh, it's not going to happen. This is because the change that I have made, it's not currently reflected in here. It's already running with the old one. So in development, the very first thing you do, all right, the very first thing you do is that I I'm going to talk about the very first package even before I go to what's that? I'm not running app. Okay, so this yeah. So this is the app that I'm running, not the index. Yeah, cool, no problem. Yeah. All right. So the very first how do I call it? The very first module I want to install, all right, is NodeMon. Now, what NodeMon does is it allows you to develop and then kind of like restart on the fly. So it will be watching your folder. If there's any change, the server will restart on its own and the change is reflected. So let's check this out. I'll show you how that works. So let's go here. npm nodemon. Yep, that is it. And it's quite simple. You just install it here. You change your script. Where is that? Yep, so I'm gonna stop this, Control C, and then we're just gonna run that. Alright. npm install nodemon. This is going to install nodemon in our Node.js packages. And when that happens, we just go in there and change, add a script to our package JSON file, and then we're going to be running that script instead of npm start. And when we do that, anytime there's a change, NodeMon will see the change, and then we immediately restart our server to, reflect that change. So, okay. So, to set up two 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 do 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 do. NodeMon, come on, NodeMon is still running. I hope it's not frozen. It looks like extracting NodeMon. Okay, so whilst we're waiting for NodeMon to start, quick question: have you checked out Microsoft Learn? You should. Microsoft Learn. Let's go check it out. I mentioned it on my show no, on Friday. Microsoft Microsoft Land, Microsoft Land, Microsoft Land, Microsoft Land. Actually, let me check something out on. Let me do this and check out Twitch TV. Okay, so Microsoft Learn, and this is Microsoft Learn. I mentioned that Microsoft Learn is your one-stop learning portal for everything Microsoft, anything Microsoft has to offer. Microsoft Learn has got learning paths, self-paced guides for you to go through. If you're planning to take certification, it has good resource for you. So check out Microsoft Learn. Now, also, Pluralsight is still in the free weekend. Today is the last day for a free weekend. So if you haven't spent some time, a couple of hours, check out something you want to learn and check it out for free. Sign up for free and then enjoy just this weekend. They keep doing it, free weekends. So what you want to do is that just check it out, sign up, have today's on free, and once you sign up, if the free weekend starts, they're going to send you emails to tell you, hey, free weekend is coming up, so you can actually go check that out. So do that right now, right now, 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 now. Do that right now. Do that right now. All right. Okay. Awesome. So, where were we? Do we still have our node module running? Whoa, it's still running. Is this normal? Does this look normal? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't look normal. It doesn't look normal. Normal, normal, normal. That's strange. So, this is still running. Okay, let's see if I can intercept the process. And let me check this. Let me go check them package.json. And let's see, script. No, no, this is Node app. This is a different one. And then Node 6.8 script node okay, Morgan is there. Yeah, I'll talk about Morgan later. Park, nope, nope, nope. Okay, let's leave the app and come here. This is where we are installing that. So Mocha go no, this is yep, natives. Okay. Hmm. This is in the test. Yeah, because I was like, what? No, so we're not looking for it here. Let's close this. And then let's check this file because this is one we're working with. Okay, so Omnipost test 2222 Chalk Express. Okay, so these are just the two things we have. So this is it, Omnipost. Let me check this out. And then let's do npm install nodemon. Ah, look at what I type. I said npm, but I type nmp. Crazy. npm install nodemon. Fill, fill it, 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 fill it. Thank you, Evans. Long time no see. Get in touch, bro. Get in touch, bro. All right, so nodemon is installed, right? Awesome. Okay, so now if I let me open index and see. Yeah. And then now, so this is what I'm going to do. So I need to go set up nodemon. All right. So to do that, it's just going in there and adding another script to our script.json, and then I'll do something like dev, and I will call. Let's see. And then I will call this dev. So all what dev will do is this is the command that's going to run when I call dev, and that command is going to be um, nodemon. This is index.js. Yep. So with this done, the script name is dev. So this time around, when I come here and I do npm, now it is only start that you can run, you can issue without. So this is what I mean. Let me explain. So in the command right now, if I were to just run it normally like you're running a node application, I would have just said npm start. But npm start is taking like you're running in production. But if I do npm um, run dev, and I'm saying that if the only script that you can use without using the keyword run is start. Apart from that, every other thing in the JSON file package or JSON script section, you need to issue it with the command run. So npm run dev is simply telling npm that go to my package or JSON file and run the script called what, dev. And what's the script dev for? It's going to run nodemon index. Now, and I'm saying that calling nodemon index means that now any change I make within the application is going to be automatically picked up because nodemon will be watching my folders or my files, and if I make a change to it, it's going to immediately restart the server to reflect the change. So I do this, and this should still tell me that, oh, look at that. I went in, it should be here. Sorry. So save this. So when I run this, it will still tell me my app is running on whatever port, as you can see here, but this time there are watches. So let's go to index. Let me actually bring this down here. So currently we have Azure Rocks. Let's go to our browser. Let's go here. And if I run it, boop, it's still showing Azure Rocks, right? Now let's do this. This is cool. Well, this is the only one we need. I'm going to make it this small, and I'm going to also put the the code bit here. No, it's just I'm just doing this just to show you that if I change it from Azure Rocks to what's the trending thing? Let's do this. The year the year of return and smiley face. Okay, if I save this, watch what happens. Now, do you realize that my um everything restarted? So now I can just go in and refresh, and it changes. I don't need to stop node, make the change, and rerun it. All right. So if I come back here, I think I should now maximize this so you can see this properly. So just keep your eye in the console right here. All right. So, and then if I say that now I want it to be, let's let us code. Save this, check it out. Oh, something happened because I missed here. Boop. Save this and look at this. You realize that my server restarted. So now it restarts for me automatically. When I do this, let's code. It changes. Now, so that is what nodemon, our very first package, nodemon. Now, so you're wondering, what if I don't use nodemon? Well, this is what's going to happen. If you don't use nodemon and you just do npm start, this is what's going to happen. The app is going to run okay. All right, let's go back here. When I refresh this, that's the last thing. Now, I'm going to change this to to Omnipost. Right? Save. I saved it. I saved it just like I did before. And then let's go back here and refresh and see nothing. See? So that's the advantage of using nodemon. With nodemon, once I save, it's watching the files, it restarts the server, and the changes are available for me on a refresh. Right? So that's the first package that I want to share with you is nodemon. Makes your life very, very easy. So last week I shared the chalk and I shared today. I'm sharing nodemon with you because we're going to be doing development and we need that. So nodemon is the tool for us to use. Okay, so let me bring this out a bit. Yep. Now there are a few things that you should have if you don't have if you have Visual Studio installed actually. Things like prettier that actually helps me make my code pretty to make it look good. You can also use what we call style guides. One of the popular style guides is the Airbnb style guides that tells you you need to use two spaces, indents, no spaces at the end. There are some ECMA scripts, guidelines. You can have an await in a loop, a whole lot of craziness. But let's keep it on a minimal. All right. So at least I've talked about two modules. Now, some of the other modules that we'll be using that I have used, things like what's the name of that? Axios, Axios for REST or API calls. Um, if you are building, since our application is going to have some endpoints because we'll be using the Omnipost on different platforms. So right now, our main aim is to build it as a backend, just as a backend for Omnipost, and then later we can build a front end that's going to sit on top of it. So we might be using a lot of Axios, and then there is an inbuilt tool. Okay, there is an inbuilt tool that allows you to do that. Actually, let me just quickly show you this. Let's do another one. Let's say app dot get and then let's do something like, let's say user. All right, let's just say user, and then thinking whether I should, no, well, I mean this is just a demo, so that's fine. So we have the request, we have the response, and this will use the arrow functions to do this. So when you call the user, what I want to do is just say rest.send. Oh yeah, let me show you something. So I think I mentioned this in a subsequent post video, that you realize that there is a star close to the send and the send status. So what that is called IntelliCode. It's called IntelliCode. So Microsoft has been good enough or smart enough to actually scout all the open source project and AI for specifically for project open source and all projects, GitHub, Bitbucket and all that. And they've used AI to recognize commonly used methods, functions, whatever you might want to call them. All right. And so when you're creating JavaScript or Node applications, anytime you see a star, it tells you that when people call response.send, sorry, when the people call response, the response object, they are likely or heavily calling the send method or function on the response object. So that's the star. So that's IntelliCode. Yep. So all we want to do is just send, let's just send something. I'm just going to do something here, something very simple. I'll just say const user is just an object that will have um, first name as Sami, and then we can have last name as Hadrani, and then we can have an arbitrary code like 123 LUCK. All right, that's the code. All right, so let's save this, and I'll say that um, mm, let's just do this. Respond dot send. Let's do response.json, and then what? What are we sending? Don't forget to do this. We are sending user. Okay. So let's try this. We already have the app running here. All right. So if I go to 300 and I call user, oh, is it a post or a get? Oh, I need to send. Sorry, copy this. I need to change the. Is this running? Yeah, it's running. Uh, oh no. So this is why it's saying cannot get. So we were using npm start, which doesn't refresh the server, and I just added a change, and that change is not reflected. So we actually have to do this. All right. I need to use npm run dev so that I'm sure that all my changes are reflected. So now when we go back here and I run this, as you can see, this returns a JSON. And my browser figured out that it's a JSON, so it's pushing this file to the browser for me. So This is what happens when you call slash user. All right. Now, the next tool or extension I think you should get, if you can't, if you feel that you don't want to use tools like Postman to do HTTP, because we are building an API that's going to be consumed by different endpoints. So we need a way to be testing the API, not just the browser, because sometimes when I need to pass setting tokens or setting authorization headers or setting header information, that you can't do that in a regular browser. You will need to have a client to do that. Now, if you want to do that from within Visual Studio, so you don't actually exit and you want to stay in the context of what you're doing, then I would advise that you get the REST client extension. So let me show you how that works. So that's the second thing I'm showing you. Second, two. All right. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I am wearing a traditional dress. Yeah. My best man gave it to me. Yes, knitted it. Thank you very much. All right. Just goofing around. All right. Let's go to extensions. I don't know why I'm hyper. I'm not taking anything sugar. Or maybe I'm excited because of something. Yes, that's it. Oh, adaptive cards. Well, if you catch me at the MCT Summit, I'll tell you something about adaptive cards. Well, I want to do a quick poll. Now, we are organizing an event. Now, this is a paid event. Sorry, guys. This is going to be a paid event on Power Platforms. So we'll talk about Flow, talk about business process automation, but technically on the Power Platform. So Flow and all that. Now, I'm going to be putting information out pretty soon. And then, so if you're interested in anything on the Power Platform, Flow, Logic Apps, uh, Dynamics into Flow and all that, that'll be your program. So let's look for it. It's called the client, sorry, the REST client. Yeah, that is it. That is it. This is it. REST client by Hua Chao Mao. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. So look for this one. Mine is already blah, 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 installed. So what is it? How does it work? So you simply create a file. All right. So you create a file with the extension, I think, REST, and then all you need to do within the project that has all your routes, and then all you need to do is just type the command, and then hey, click on it, and it's going to show you the command right within your file. So just call it, just get post, and then it's going to show you the information. So here, this one also allows you to pass like headers and all that, but this one declaratively in code. All right. So let's try this out. So in my file here, in my folder, sorry, I'm going to create a new file, and I can call this request.rest. All right, that's it. And then in the rest file, let's look at the browser right here. We know that we need to call localhost user, right? So I can say this is what get boop and do that. That's it. Now look at what happens. It actually gives you, let me make this a bit bigger. It actually gives you the link right here. So the link you click to initiate the REST request. So you click on this, boop, and look at that. I get a response right within Visual Studio. Right here. Right here. All right. Right here. So the same thing. I could go ahead and say now the next one is get, paste this, but this time there's no user. That's like the initial route. All right. Save this. Boop. And if I say, well, this is gonna make it two. So let me bring this down here and save this file. So send the request. Boop 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 boop. All right. As you can see, I'm sending the first one, this one. So it retains the information. So let me go back here and modify this and say Ama Amagana. And then let me see, this one is 4. Save this. All right. And then I go back to my REST file. Where is my REST file? Yeah, there's a lot. I've actually maximized it and there's a lot going on. So I'm just going to bring this here a bit. And then I click this again. Check this out. Amagana right here changed. So these are extensions and modules that will help you when you're doing your node development. Now don't forget that Someone will say, well, there's nothing Azure here. Yes, we did implementations and deployments for Azure in the previous episode. Now we're concentrating on building an application, and then once the application is built, we're going to ship the application into Azure. So now, in the next few episodes, we'll just be doing kind of like very basic node module stuff, and then I'm going to chip in module services, platforms that I'm using to help me, in the development, and then eventually that's going to be published into Azure. So I hope that's that really helps, right? Okay, so that's the next tool I wanted to talk about. So I can close this. I can close this. It's in my application. Now let's come down to folder structure. All right. Let me zoom this out a bit. Now, normally I would want to create a source folder, and the source folder is what has, or sometimes called application folder, that has everything. All right. But if I'm working with it, if I want just that one level, how do you call it? Just if I want that one level folder structure, what I do is that right from the root, I leave all the things in the root, the core things in the root, but then I create subfolders. So for instance, the first folder that I'm going to create is called route, because now we're just defining what did I create a file or it's supposed to be a folder. Let's delete this, delete that, and then this is for folder. This is a folder. This is a no, this is a folder. Yeah, click on this, and then I call this route. All right. Now, right now, as you can see, I have put two routes. I have put the user route here. Even this Omni thing is a route I'm putting in here. Technically not supposed to be in here, not a good practice. So all my routes are going to go into the routes folder. All right. The route is just whatever, move from here to here, that's where the route is going to be. Now, so that's the first folder. Now, what I do is that now I have another folder called controllers. Uh, controllers. All right. So, oh no 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 no. I'm going to push this, bring this out. Yes, so that it's on the same level. Now, so what are controllers? Now, controllers are, if you've ever done anything MVC, module view controller, you know that the controller is where all the logic is, all the business logic actually, lives. So the routes would have certain logic or certain business logic that have to be run when the route is called. Those logics or logic, the logic is kept in the controller. All right, so the logic is kept in the that's where all the logic. So I could have a route for user. So for instance, what do I want to do with a user? I want to add user, edit user, delete user, do something specific to the user route. All right, so all the routes for user is going to be in the route folder. For each individual route logic, there'll be a corresponding controller for that. So I can create the user controller. So here I'll have a user route, and then I'll have a what? A user controller. So what happens now is that there is separation of concerns, and it makes the code testable. So I can run a piece of code which is a controller that the route can call, and I can test to make sure that, oh, my route is supposed to do A, B, C, and D, and it's doing that. So that's why I have that separation. Now, the other folder I create is called the middleware, all right, or middlewares. You might want to, well, yeah, just middleware. So let's say routes, controllers, middleware, all right. Now, what the middleware do or does, if that's a better way to put it, is that um, Node allows for middleware or injections, the process of actually writing custom middlewares to interact with your request and response cycle. All right. Now, sometimes you need to write custom code. An example of a middleware will be um, authentication or authorization. Maybe I have a route, okay, and maybe before you call this route, I want to ensure that the user is authenticated, or the user is an administrator, or the user is a user, or whatever role. Now, to check the role, I'll need to write a piece of code to check the request and see the person has that role in it before we move on. Now, so I put all those middleware codes in the middleware folder. Again, makes it testable, so I can mock up things and ensure that my middleware works correctly. So that's what routes, controllers, middleware, right? Three, 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 three. Now, if I were building a coupled system or even a system that had views, front ends, all right, then would have created another folder called views. All right. And let's move this into a top level, a root level, yep, folder. So it would have views. So views is where you're going to store all your front end stuff, whether you're using templating frameworks like Park or EJS. We use AJS, which is embedded JavaScript. That's what I'm going to use. So that's where all the EJS files will live. If you're using Park, that's where all the Park files, will live right now. So controllers, middleware, route, views. All right. 4. Now, again, because you're going to have front end, all right? Yeah, sure, Washid. Oh, sorry for that. That was me. Ha 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 ha. Sure, we'll get to you shortly. After my live feed. All right, cool, awesome. So, like I was saying, so if we're creating a front-facing project, I would add a second, another folder called public. Now, this is because public, this is what I want to make available to the public. This is where the code is going to live for people to actually see. All right, for people to see the logic. That's the portion of the application I want to make public. All right, so things like, so you might ask, what's going to be in public? Well, in public we can create things like, we can have images in public, we can have a folder for fonts, we can have a folder for CSS, we can have a folder for Java. Like if you have specific JavaScript that is supposed to go on the client side, this is where you put them. All right, and maybe any other public facing stuff. All right, that yeah. Thanks, Washid. Yeah, thanks. So anything that you want the application to expose publicly, you're going to put them in the public folder. So this is how my folder structure looks like. All right. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and delete, yes, all the other templates that were generated by the dev pipeline when we created the app from the dev pipeline, which is not what I want to do. So yeah, continue. I want to just get rid of it. Yeah, I just want to do that so you can see, so you can see the, how do you call it? You know what? Let's just oh, it's asking me to authorize. Sorry. Yep. All right, that's done. So I don't need the ARM template as well. So ARM template was from DevOps, because if I'd wanted to do things like infrastructure as code, where I make changes to the code and republish, I would have used that. All right. So controllers middleware node modules is generated by this file, views, and then yes, I would have had a test. All right, functional test and unit test. I would have done that. So I'll leave the test out. I'll just leave that because I will do testing, so I can leave this. So this is how ideally the folder structure will look like. All right, something like this, and then you can build your application. But because I'm not going to do any front end in this version of the application, I wouldn't need views. I might need a view, maybe as a landing page, just to show people something, but the reason why I'm not going to use a view is that this is the backend service of the Omnipost application. This is going to be all the APIs we need to post, to do all the things, and then we're going to build another application, the web front, that is going to consume it. Now, so you might ask, why am I doing that separately? Well, the moment I couple the front end with the API, what's going to happen is that the API and the front end are now one. And therefore, if the front end goes down, my API also goes down. Which means, assuming I have a mobile application calling that API, it will not be able to reach it because the web front is down. If I have something like Google Hangout, sorry, Google Assistant, or Amazon Alexa, or Cortana, or Siri, also calling, because I plan to do that, to say, hey Cortana, add, publish this to my channels, and I say whatever I want to say, right? It's supposed to call this backend. But if I couple it with the web part, if the website goes down or if the app goes down, everything goes. That's why I'm separating the front-facing app from the logic. So what we are building right now is going to be a series of just the APIs that you're going to call. And we're going to publish the API, and then we'll start building the application, which is going to take the form, this particular format. All right. So that's it. So this is how it's going to look like. So to demonstrate how that works, I'm going to move. Let's do this. I'm going to move this. I'm going to move this. I'm going to move this. Oh yeah, and um, there's another thing I'm going to show you. So today I'm going to show you three modules. I've shown you Node Mon. I'm going to show you another one. Another one. I'm going to show you another two. All right, so you can use them. So right now we have our folder structure, done. Not bad. Okay. Now, so the next module I'm going to show you is, now you realize that here, this is just fake data. Okay, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake data. So what I'll do is that right now I'm going to add a module, create it here, but then and then I'll show you how we can actually move or remove that whole code and then put it in its own like route, or it's actually a middleware or something. Now this is not a middleware. That makes you remember I left out one more folder called services. I almost forgot that. Services. Now, services, just like the name implies, is where you keep your third-party integrations. So let's say this application now talks to, it's going to talk to Facebook, it's going to talk to Twitter, it's going to talk to LinkedIn, all right? All the third-party application integration services or logic or API calls is going to happen is going to be created and stored here. That our controllers will call for the route. All right. So it's a service. So for instance, right now that we have this particular thing, we can term it as a service because when we call this service, it's supposed to generate a random user for us and inject it into our. But for now, we're going to take it bit by bit so we don't rush this. So I'm going to show you the second module since you're building APIs that you need, all right, to generate some random or fake information that you can use while you're developing. And then I'll show you the next one because we're going to be using a lot of secrets and some information. I'll show you how to use the third module to do that. And then we can call it a night because we've hit 1 hour. So let's do this quickly and then get rocking. So the next module that we're going to use is called Fake. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, so like the name implies, Faker is a node module that allows you to generate fake data. All right. So fake data, like address, zip code. If you intend to do comments like color, department, product name, prices, company, database, finance, amount, account number. So if you're building any API or anything like that, and you need to be able to generate some fake data just to mock up and do the development, Faker is your choice. All right. So let's go ahead. No, there are actually two. Um, let me actually open this up. Well, I used to love two, Faker and this one is called Chance. I don't know if Chance is still being developed. I think it is. Yep. Let's see the weekly downloads of Chance. Okay, so yeah, Chance is also like Faker. All right. So it helps you, fake or generate fake data. All right. So the same thing. Let's look at the weekly downloads. 349. Let's look at Faker. 1 million. So you see, so why Faker is more popular. So we're going to go with Faker. So again, quite simple. We want to add this to our modules. Let's go here. So npm install Faker with a small f because there's another Faker with a big F. All right. So we do that, and this adds Faker to our code. All right. Make sure I don't have any vulnerabilities, so my app at the end of the day, if I'm scanning it, is good. Now, once we have Faker, all right, this is how to use Faker. I go here, I say const, I'll call this fake equals require what? faker. There you go. And hey, don't be afraid to reference. Let's go here. So it's saying that what? How do you use it? Now, if you're using it npm after I've installed it, uh, note this is it. Faker is require faker, and that's it. If I want to create anything random, this is how I call it. So I need to be able to, how do you call it? Reference and know what I'm looking for. So in my case, all right, in my case, what we are doing is that we're if you look at what we just created, we're trying to create first name, last name, and some random code. So let's go to the faker and see what we get. So let's see, do we have, let's see, yep, so we have name, we have first name, last name, all right, and then random. We can see a random number or alphanumeric if we want to. So we've identified three faker methods we can use. All right, name, and then random. So first name, last name, and then random. All right. So let's go ahead and see. So it says what? To use it, quite simple, right? Name, faker or named or whatever that is. This is how you use it. Very simple. So let's do this. So now user, okay, instead of putting this here as AMA, we're going to do this. All right, we'll say what? Fake dot name. We actually have, check this out, we actually have IntelliSense. Oh my god, so sweet. So what? So if you have an ID that gives you this, that's like, crazy, right? So first name, that's what we want, and the second one here will be what? Fake dot name dot what last name. All right, and then the code. um I can, what, I can actually add an image or whatever that is, but let's just keep it simple. Or and then we can just abstract this from here. So this is faker dot random dot alphanumeric, and we want this to just be a 6-digit alphanumeric character. All right. Oh, sorry, this is JSON thing. I can't do that. So all I did, no. So all I did was just to replace the manual thing I typed with what? With faker. So now, if we go back and run our dev, have our server running again, okay? So something is wrong. What is happening? Let's see what it's telling us. Oh, it's telling us the app is already running. So as you can see, it's already running. I'm trying to run it again. So if we go here and then we do user, let's refresh this. Check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Do you see that? Let's see. Omnipost slash user. Yep. Hold on. Let's see raw. Code. It's just returning code. What's happening? No, it shouldn't return code. It should return the user. User. Oh, because, okay, you know what? Let's do this. JavaScript can be crazy at times. Okay, we save this. Actually, let's delete this. And then, you know what? Let's clear this out. It looks like something is caught up our browser. So let's do this. Let's make sure it's running. Yep, it's running. Now let's go here and let's refresh and see. Yep, you see that? Yep. But there's a problem. It's just showing 1, 2, 3. It's just showing the code. How is that happening? So let me do this. Let me actually open my REST file, go here and do the request and see what I get. So it's just returning code. What happened to the other things? So let's go into the code and check what we did wrong. So we said so yeah, it's there, faker dot first name, faker. Oh, okay. Well, maybe this one doesn't like it that way. Who knows? Let's save this and see. And then I'm going to go to request and run the request again. Okay, you know what? Let's do this. Let's take it one at a time. Now we've entered debug mode. Let's save this. Okay, and let's go back to our request and let's try running the request again. Yep, so code is working. Okay, so now let me paste this first name. Oh, let's do this. Let me cut this out and then let's try, just one at a time, just to make sure we know what's happening. Is it a function or yes, a method? Oh, crazy me. Forgive me, guys. Totally, totally, totally. Not good, not good, not good. Yep, so they are methods and need to be called as such and they are not properties. Awesome, so save this. Let's run our request again. Ta-da! Run our request again. Just refresh. And now I can go back to the browser. Try this. Look at that. Look at that. So now we've been able to create an application, all right, that calls a module that creates some fake data for us. Now I'm going to leave all these things I'm creating here in the app because in the next episode I'll show you now how to move them into the various folder structures that I mentioned. So we'll leave them here. Now, the next thing I want to show you, the next module I want to show you. Now, it comes critical that things like um, how do you call it, like secret keys, because we're using things like Facebook, things like LinkedIn, things like YouTube and all that. Now you might have certain keys, API keys, that you need to use. You don't want to store these keys in your application all lying around, and you want these things to be accessed on the environmental variable on the servers where they are going to be deployed. But the question is that how do you let those variables be available, all right? How do those variables become available on your development environment? That is by using what we call environmental variable, and there is a module that allows you to do that. So let's say that I want to say that I want to actually send something like the name of the application, or let's do this. When you call the endpoint, let's do this. Let's say now serving ticket number beep beep beep, and then let's do this. All right. Now serving ticket number, and then I do let number equals okay. Now let's assume that this is a secret. Okay, this is a secret that is just supposed to be known by your app and not by any third party. All right. So now if we go back to the app and then we just call this endpoint content negotiation, now serving ticket number, blah blah blah. All right. Now maybe you don't want this to leak into the public domain or to leak, into the user's environment, right? So then we're going to use environmental variables. And I've actually used one here, but I didn't have any. And this is how you access environmental variables, process.env, and then the name of the variable. So to do that, you want to create in your root folder a file called .env, right? And then in the env, I can put things like port equals 3000, and I can put things like let's say app underscore name, and I'll call this Omnipost, all right, and I can call it that name, and that's it. Okay, so now I have two environmental variables, app name. So I want to expose, or let's just say secret equals X, Y, B, blah blah, 1, 2, 3, something something. This, let's say this is a key for something, Um, let's do exclamation. So let's say this is a key for some service you're running. All right. So to access the secret, right? I'll go in there and say that instead of now doing this whole thing, I can say this is now equals what? Process dot env dot, what's the name? Look at that. It's picking it up because it knows that I have a secret added in there. All right. So I have secret now, but when I do this, this won't work because I don't have a secret. I don't have a way to access secret right now. The app doesn't really know about it. So if I refresh this, you see that it says what? Undefined. It's undefined because it doesn't know about that secret. So to know about it, we're going to use another node module called .env. That's it. And if you look, 7 million downloads. So .env is the module you need. All right. So let's go ahead as we've done. Let's go add it. So let's go to, we can stop this for now. Say npm install .env, right? And then once this is installed, the easiest way to activate it, and they suggest that it is the first thing you call so that it can pull all the environmental variables into your application. So I can say const config, all right, right. I can say config, right, or I can actually just, I don't even need to, I don't need it, so I can just say I don't need any reference to it, just say require uh, I'll just say require, we need what, .env, and I can call .config on it. So .config is what is actually going to auto load it. I mean, but hey, make sure you go through the documentations. Require, that tells you it, all right? So now with this, with just this that I have added, if I now go back and run the application, sorry, I called the wrong command. Yeah, so if I do, yep, and we go back to the application and I do this, now check this out. Now it knows the secret. So that is how you add secrets to an M file and then call that M file in your application. Isn't that simple and straightforward? Awesome. So that is all time will permit us for another hour of coding with Sam. Today we've taken a look at the folder structure of Ominipost, the backend API. We're taking a look at three modules: NodeMon, .env, and then we looked at Faker, which we're going to use to generate some fake data to test our APIs. Next week, I'm going to show you now how to encapsulate, or extract all these things into their various folders here, and then we will add the very first unit test. So, thank you for joining me. Yours truly, Samuel Adrian. Don't forget to subscribe to my Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn channels, and then if there's any question or anything you want to clarify, just reach out to me. I'll be happy to help you. Until I come your way again next Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. This has been Demystifying Tech. Until I catch you, enjoy your week. Have a blessed week. Um, just know that everything happens for a reason. If there's any challenge, just hit it hard, do more, and then hey, you can get over it. Thank you and have a great evening.